Remember, the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot.
Do you know why you're here, Evie Hammond? You've been formally charged with conspiracy to commit treason, terrorism and sedition, the penalty for which is death by firing squad. You have one chance, and only one chance, to save your life. You must tell us the identity or whereabouts of codename V. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
V for Vendetta is a story about revolution, fascism and government operating above the law. It wasn't an easy task to pull off. V sets his plans into motion to fight against the established system of power. And we have to start with the fact that the presentation of the main character, the beginning, V, played by 𝐌𝐞𝐫𝐿, is incredible. Every line spoken by this vigilante.
However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta.
Honestly, I don't even know what this city is supposed to be, but the film takes place in England. It all carries weight. The beginning, the first scene is amazing. It has this strange sense of humor, but at the same time, everything is told almost like poetry. Because of that, the film gains a kind of theatrical quality. It allows the movie to spread its wings across many different layers, making it something more than just an empty shell. And obviously, I would never call V for Vendetta an empty shell. The film has death. Although in many places that death is delivered with a shovel straight into your face.
This message must be read in every newspaper, heard on every radio, seen on every television. This message must resound throughout the entire interlink. I want this country to realize that we stand on the edge of oblivion. I want every man, woman and child to understand how close we are to chaos. I want everyone to remember why they need us.
Originally, V for Vendetta was a graphic novel released in 1982, written by Alan Moore. He modeled the totalitarian government in the story after the rule of Margaret Thatcher in England. Okay?
I put a stake through her heart and garlic round her neck to make sure she never come back.
That's a pretty horrible thing to say when her funeral's going on right now.
Too bad, too bad.
In the comics, V was actually a very different character. He wasn't entirely a hero, yet in the movie he comes across as a classic protagonist. That's because V is carrying the burden of an ideal, the ideal of freedom, of absolute freedom of choice. Alan Moore himself is an anarchist, and openly said that an anarchist rule would be better than the systems of power we live under at the moment. That's at least how V approaches things in the comics. Still, I like how everything is tied together through strong directing choices. Some scenes are generally well executed. Early on, for example, we see a character die for freedom.
With so much chaos, someone will do something stupid. And when they do, things will turn nasty.
We only see him for a few seconds, but it leaves this imprint on the story. The idea that the fight for freedom is something people rally around together, creating the very substance of humanity itself. Humanity has always gathered around ideals and built societies through them, since the dawn of time. That's what's so powerful about this film. The way those individual moments are woven together. And the fact that many scenes are delivered in verse is also worth mentioning. The comedian character in the film, played by Stephen Fry, also stands out nicely. There is a scene where he makes himself breakfast, eggs and bacon, and it's exact same breakfast as V prepared earlier. And it resonates well. An idea inspires people and certain individuals carry that idea forward. they become examples. V was such an example, Dietrich was too, especially when he did that Ben Hill-style television segment mocking the government. That was probably the only true British moment in this movie, politically speaking.
Soldiers! That man is the terrorist! I order you to shoot the traitor! Liar! Faker! Fraud! Ready! Aim! Fire!
Because overall the politics are presented in a very Americanized way. We have this main villain constantly filling the screen in extreme close-ups, talking directly to us. The problem is that it becomes idealized evil, without shades of grey. There isn't a single genuinely good person in that government. The regime is presented as the massive block of pure darkness, whose only purpose is to control humanity through totalitarian rule. Those characters are written very poorly. And that's a shame, because the whole film ends up feeling highly theatrical. It has this Shakespearean sense of pure good and pure evil. It's a very yin-yang kind of movie. Absolute monstrous evil versus absolute good. But it lacks shades of grey. That would push the audience to really question things and ask whether anarchy is truly the better solution. The revolution in this film is portrayed in this romanticized way, and honestly I can't agree with presenting revolution like that. In my opinion, every revolutionary movement also brings civilian victims, and lots of them. So I completely disagreed with the film's approach here. The evil in the movie is simply one-dimensional. Still, some aspects are genuinely powerful, like Natalie Portman shaving her head or being tortured in prison.
Your Grace.
To think that I doubted your loveliness for an instant.
Please, Your Grace, we don't have much time and I have to tell you something.
A confession. I love the confessional game.
Those sequences are handled quite well. In the end, it turns out that V imprisoned her to strengthen her emotionally, so she could fulfill a kind of destiny, becoming an elemental force of nature.
You tortured me. Why?
You said you wanted to live without fear. I wish there'd been an easier way, but there wasn't.
That's exactly one of the best ideas in the film. V represents fire, a burning blaze that must come and sweep through society. Meanwhile, Evie, played brilliantly by Natalie Portman, represents water, the flood that comes after the fire and washes everything clean. And that's how film plays it out. It's interesting concept overall. Evie really had to go through that journey and the film shows it clearly. But again, the movie suffers from most of its one-dimensional evil. Bodies pile up quickly. V moves through the story killing all these people, he does it efficiently, though not always spectacularly. The special effects still look decent, and the fight scenes are solid, at least in some cases.
My turn.
But the explosions in this movie are executed perfectly. Obviously they are CGI, but they look very authentic. It feels like real, on-set explosions. In the end, V for Vendetta is a really great comic book adaptation, and I wouldn't reduce it to just that either. Much like Christopher Nolan films, it communicates something larger than the superhero itself. Nolan's Batman trilogy is also about Batman fighting against the system that oppresses people. He is more extreme version of them. It's a shame that film doesn't explore that side of them. It's a shame that film doesn't explore that side of him more deeply. In my opinion, a much better approach would have been to develop V into a character the audience constantly question. Is he serving good or evil? Why is he doing this? Is he completely consumed by revenge, or is he truly carrying an idea and a moral cause? In this movie, he unquestionably carries the ideal and becomes the sole engine driving him. Because of that, the character ends up slightly weaker than he could have been. Still, I have to admit, 𝐿𝐴 is absolutely killing in this role. Even though he only has body language and vocal delivery at his disposal, the way he carries Shakespeare in that opening scene, it's fantastic. The moment he steps onto the screen, you feel it. 𝐿𝐴, he carries this immense charisma even while hidden behind a mask. But honestly, I think that potential was wasted. They could have shown his face gradually changing over, and honestly, in today's world, it's funny how relevant this script still feels. The scenario presented in the film really could have resembled reality, but it only proves how well written this fiction is. The concept itself is genuinely fascinating. So to sum up the film, a great concept, weaker execution in certain places, but ultimately something much deeper than an empty shell. It's a film with a real depth, the idea of freedom above the individual, the idea that people united together can threaten governments, because governments should fear people, not the other way around. Those are direct ideas from the movie, and honestly I think it's an absolutely worth watching great spectacle.